If I go exceed your expectations, please refer me 3 clients. I invest my marketing dollars into the relationship. You could do things together as you start building your team. They could come in with absolutely no money and come away with a home.
Your mind could get a little bit stagnant. So we always have to keep our mind sharp thinking about real estate. And so especially today where business is a little bit more far and few, unless if you're doing the activity, make sure you're doing all the activity you could do, because I know a lot of you are not. You guys are distracted, whether you're distracted with social media or you're distracted doing something else. But if you're focused on the activities of a real estate agent, you should be having lots of business, no matter what the market is, because the market will, there is less transactions, no doubt. But if you're doing the work, you'll have your deals. And wherever you are in your business, the activities you do will equal the business you have. And you also have to have a strategy. But today I'm going to be talking about retirement plan for us real estate agents. I really think that it's just super important. I see a lot of agents. The last statistics I read was like 87% of real estate agents don't even own a home. And that's pretty scary. But that's the truth, because there's a few things that's stopping an agent from owning a home. One is paperwork. Right? If you're a real estate agent on commission and you're trying to get a home loan, like I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, to qualify for a home loan in the San Francisco Bay Area, you have to have substantial income. But because we have lots of write-offs and we want to pay less taxes to the IRS, building a real estate retirement plan, long-term wealth, passive income, and exit strategy. So this is the topic I've been focused on for the last decade, because, real estate sales is great, but the commission is inconsistent. How many of you are in that phase? Yes, we sometimes sell 5 homes in 1 month, 10 homes in 1 month, but then there could be months where you don't sell a home. And so this real estate commission, once you get the consistency, that's great. But a lot of agents, they don't have the consistency. So let's talk about the built-in pension and 401k. The one good thing is some real estate companies and brokerages now offer a 401k or a pension plan. So, pay attention to that. I'm with a company called eXp Realty, and they offer the revenue share plan or their stock plan, which is great. Income often stops when production stops, right? And unique opportunities to convert active income into passive income. So we're going to be talking about the apartment buildings and passive income. But the 3 pillars of real estate retirement plan, well, there's long-term wealth building, where you build a portfolio, passive income creation, where you have rentals, and then strategic exit planning. So the long-term wealth building, it's like buy and hold rental properties. This is long-term gain. The one thing I learned early on is, because I bought a 35-unit building and I so regret on getting rid of it. Back then, my broker that I took it as his advice, he told me to sell it. And that was the biggest mistake. And so, anyways, buy and hold property. Just so you know, when you buy a rental property, it takes quite a bit of time for you to see the fruits of your labor. So it's a very slow process, but the compounding of that building and time will then start, you'll start seeing the fruits of your labor later down the road. If you're in a cash flow business, maybe like you have properties in other states, you're in it for the cash flow, so you'll see more of the immediate. But if you're from the Bay Area, and a little bit different strategy, so Anytime you want to talk about that, we can on another day. So invest in appreciating markets. That's here in the Bay Area. Leverage tax advantages, depreciation and 1031 exchange. Diversify into REITs, syndications, and real estate funds. I've been talking to somebody about this REITs and syndications, and yeah, it's okay. Again, it depends on what your role is in these syndications. So just know if you're going to go into any of the diversify into REITs, syndications, and real estate funds, it's at a different level, and because you have multiple partners and sometimes you don't play much of a role, but being an investor, just know what you're getting involved in. I definitely, if you want to buy big, large apartment building and be a part of that, that's actually a good area. There's quite a few people in the San Francisco Bay Area that do syndications and participate. Anything you do, whether you want to know more about tax advantages, about investing, about appreciation, cash flow, really dive deep. And the good news is there's so much information out there. There's ChatGPT, there's Google, there's meetups. They have so many wealth building real estate opportunities and meetings here that I suggest you go and participate in some of these meetings, whether it's online on Zoom or in person. Okay. I mean, I seen one this morning that I'll be attending, and it's about flipping. And even though I've been doing flips for over a decade, I mean, I must have did my first flip, I don't know, 18 years ago, and 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 even today. And so my point is, I'm still going to this event because I want to know what they maybe they have some new techniques that I'm not aware of, and I want to be on top of that because today if you could flip a home and make 100 grand, that's like selling 5 homes if you're into real estate sales. I'm talking about here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So there's a lot of people who are just doing flips now, and it's a lot. It's actually pretty fruitful here in the Bay Area. You do flips in San Ramon, Pleasant Hill, Walnut Creek, San Francisco, anywhere in the peninsula, and you can just really build your margin in between that flip. And it's becoming very simplified and the information's there. One more thing, in Silicon Valley right now, they are letting folks do ADUs, and those ADUs that the city's letting homeowners do, they're giving a separate APN number. So that means you could take your original property, build something on it, create a separate APN number, and then actually you could resell that and still keep your home. I mean, think about that. Those that have a decent sized lot in like Silicon Valley, they could literally create another property on their lot, split it into two, and then sell it. I mean, think about that because uh, there's some lots that I'm looking at in San Jose. They're like 10,000 square feet. You literally, and that's not that big, but you could literally build an ADU over there, like let's say a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,000 square foot home, and resell that for like $2 million. Pretty crazy, right? Okay, turning commissions into assets. Well, allocate a fixed amount for every commission to investments. One property per year strategy. I've been focused on that for the last 6 years, and it's pretty good. Of course, like I said, when you get a property, it could be challenging because you got sometimes tenant matters, you have appliance issues, you got to do some fixing. So all these are costs that you got to do. I mean, I picked up a property from a seller carry, and it took me almost a year to get the tenant out. But that was the deal. And that was expensive. I had to outlay tens of thousands of dollars to get this property, but at the end, it's all good. I got a zero interest, right, on the mortgage because seller carry, he just didn't want to evict his own family member. Anyways, use house hacking to build equity faster, reinvest cash flow to compound growth, focus on equity growth and cash flow. Passive income creation, rental property, cash flow. I mean, like I said, here in the San Francisco Bay Area, there are properties that do cash flow. It just depends on your rate and how much money down or the situation. I have an agent that recently picked up something in South San Francisco, California, and she picked up a property for like $1 million, and value was like 1.6. Yep, she got it from somebody she knew. There was a troubled tenant on the property. It was actually a 3-unit building, and she was able to pick it up for $1 million. And that thing cash flows. So there are properties that can cash flow. You just got to be looking. And if you're in the business of real estate on a 24-hour basis, right? I mean, you got to be thinking about real estate all the time because, if you're just thinking about real estate whenever you have a client, well, then you're probably struggling. And that's really the truth because you're not really a real estate agent. And real estate agents, they think about their business every day, if not 24/7. I mean, that's the nature of our business, right? And it's not a bad thing because, when they go to a party, what do? They pick up their business cards. They think that, okay, where's my business cards? Who am I going to see there? Do I need to bring maybe some gifts or some personal cards, give it to them, invitations to whatever events you have. So a real estate agent would always think of like their business and who the next customer is. Unless if you have a very steady business and you developed such a strong name that your friends, family, and clients have you on the top of their mind around the clock. There are some agents who do have that type of business, but of course they also have either really put a lot of effort into their business and paid their dues, or they just have a good system that they know how to keep in touch with their friends, family, and clients. So, anyways, let's get back to this. Real estate syndication, REITs, revenue share. I mean, if you're with a company called like EXP and some others, there's revenue share. I'm part of a company called EXP. I got involved with EXP Pacific for the revenue share. I've been living off revenue share for the last since 2018, so 8 years or so. Eight, yeah, eight. Wow, 8 years, and it's been well over 6 figures. So been very blessed, but our household spends a lot of money as well. So we also do. We have real estate sales. I never stopped that, and been very consistent with it. Been consistent with my real estate sales because I built the foundation. My assistant and I, we built the core foundation of our business, which is the database. Okay, I always talk about this. I know it sounds so basic, but real estate agents don't even have that basic of a database, a CRM. And so with that, it provides a consistency of real estate sales. All right, I must have put like 4 into escrow, got 2 more in the next 2 days. So, I mean, been very busy this last month and a half. But anyways, and that's because I have a very I focus on my database. I talk about it with my staff weekly. We talk about our database, we talk about our leads, we talk about our foundation and our marketing. And that's along with our campaigns and our campaigns that go out. Anyways, mortgage notes, private lending, referral income. I mean, referral income is if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, I mean, there's a lot of people around the world that people can refer you to. They just need to know how to find you. Okay, so that's important. Replace your monthly expenses. Well, step one, calculate your true monthly lifestyle costs. Ooh, my wife knows that one. Ours is pretty high. But, calculate yours. Set a passive income target. So, if your monthly income, let's say, is $8,000 a month, that's your rent, your food, your insurance, etc., your lifestyle, your gas, and it's 8,000 a month, you should set your target to passive income of 8,000. I'm still working because my passive income target's 50,000 a month. And because I haven't reached 50,000 a month in passive income, so I can't truly retire or feel comfortable if I decide to stop selling. That's, I'm not there. Step three, focus on consistent cash flow, not just appreciation. And that's, rental income. That's what I mean is when I talked about EXP revenue share, is because if you focus on your EXP revenue share or that type of revenue share, you could reach those passive incomes, and that target, you could create a simple goal. Let's say you just want to make $2,000 a month. You just need to know how many agents that I need to talk to per day and how many agents do I need to get to join every month. And then hitting that passive income is actually pretty easy, is because it compounds with it compounds the revenue share model, the compounding. Once you get it started, you can't stop it. I mean, in my revenue share, for example, and this is where the passive income comes in, I probably know the first three levels of agents, meaning, I referred a few agents to the business, and then they referred a few agents. I spoke to them or helped them understand what EXP is about. And then some of those on the third level, I might have spoken to. Maybe I know them a little bit, but they weren't referred by me. And on level 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is really where a lot of people are joining, I don't even know who they are. I never met them. It wasn't my influence that brought them over to EXP. And so, but the good news is, it's continuing to mushroom out. And this is it's a massive money. So anyways, there's an example below here. If you need 12,000 a month, you need 144,000 a year in passive income. So think about it. And if you need help thinking this out, if you ever want to do some revenue share, my assistant and I, we talk about this every day. We could help you. Yes, if you find one amazing agent, you could literally set yourself up and be retired. I mean, for example, if you had brought me in and referred me to EXP, probably your monthly income would be, I don't know, 10, 15,000 a month, just for bringing on one good agent, right? So anyways, strategic exit plan. So sell your real estate brand, right? Transition to referral only agent. Build a revenue share organization, what I'm talking about. Sell rental portfolio strategically. 1031 exchange into full passive investments. So these are just, us as real estate agents, there should be an evolution, right? We get into real estate, then we should at some point start maybe owning a brokerage, or starting a team, then owning a brokerage, then doing your own flips, then you becoming the investor, funding other agents, loaning out your money, and then at the end game, you're building your own properties and selling them, because now you should have massed enough money to buy a lot in Daly City, for example, split it into two, and then build one home on one side, keep the other one, remodel it, and then now you have two homes. Sell one to get all your money back, and then the other one is paid off, clear, and then that just becomes your rental income, and you just do that over and over and over. That's something that my previous broker did, which he still does today. He has a very simple plan. He basically buys a property in Daly City, that is a double lot, and then he splits that double lot into two, builds a home, brand new construction on one lot, and the other home he just keeps and he just remodels it, and then he'll sell one and keep the other. And he's been doing that ever since I've known him for the last, I think the last at least 20 years. Oh, wow. Okay. No, 19 years. 19 years. So that's a strategy, but there's a lot of different ways. I mean, right now I'm moving into the flipping part of our business because things are changing. You see that our real estate sales and being a sales agent is different from maybe 5 years ago. And so the transition is if you could do your own flips and make 100 grand, hey, why not, right? And that's a matter of proper disclosure, proper conversation, proper script. Okay? And if you run across a property and you're unsure, but you know it's a good property in a good location, feel free to call me. We'll somehow figure it out. I'll help you evaluate it, and maybe we could do something together with it. Right? We talk to our client properly because some clients, they just want their money right then and there. But if we could take that, let's say, for example, you have a client, they have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. And that 2-bedroom, 1-bath is, let's say, 1,000 square feet here in the peninsula. And now we could take that same home and turn it into a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, right? And we add 1,500 square feet or make it 2,000 square foot home. Now, that same home that was $1 million, we just created, let's say we created another, we turned it into a $2 million home. And there's roughly $200,000, $300,000 of margin there. And that's totally legal and legit as a real estate agent. Just have to properly protect ourselves with proper paperwork and dialogue. I'm always open to looking at some of what you have or you need help. Create a sellable real estate business. Build a recognizable brand, grow and protect your database, document systems and processes, develop leadership within your team, turn clients into long-term referral sources. So a business with systems has value. A solo agent job does not. So, if you're a solo agent, you could definitely turn your business into a great business. Like I have a solo agent within my organization. I helped them get a virtual assistant. Now his business, he has a lot of time. He's creating a lot more money, and they're doing a lot of cold calling. So his business has actually transformed in the last 12 months. And now he's recruiting agents for his revenue share because now he has a VA that's calling and actually not closing, but all they do is focus on listings and expireds. They're killing it, and they're focused in the San Carlos, San Mateo area, and each deal out there is at least 2.5 million. So protection and structure, LLCs are actually one of the better structures. So if you ever get a property, put in an LLC, you could just call it 123 Main Street LLC. That will really help protect you. Of course, talk to your accountant to see what structure is best for you. But LLC seems to be the best structure. Make sure you have an insurance policy. Make sure you have emergency reserves, estate planning and trusts, asset protection strategy. Make sure you protect what you build. I mean, I recently, like last week, I believe it was Thursday, I had an agent of ours. He got into a major accident, head-on collision, and I just hope that he protected his family because he has young kids. So, anyways, whatever you're doing, make sure you're always thinking about protection. Long-term strategy, first to 5 years, acquire 3 to 5 properties, build strong cash flow reserves, increase increase production income. So you want to be selling a lot of homes, be super motivated, and be focused. Focus on building that foundation. Then scale your portfolio, reduce high interest debt, add passive investments. That's a 6 to 10 years. And then from 11 to the 15th year, increase your cash flow, optimize tax strategy, shift focus from growth to stability. And then from the 16th year to the 20th, transition out of active production, live live off passive income, and optional consult and refer. I think when you get to the point of, let's say, even after the 10th year, and you've been in the business for a while, you could literally start coach some agents and charge, you could charge anywhere between 500 to 1,000 a month, and that could be passive income. There's a lot of information out there on how to help, and it's really basically keeping people accountable and keeping agents accountable, because a lot of agents, they're not structured. And I still like to consult. I have mentors and I consult with them, and I pay people to learn. And so I really suggest, if you yourself have a lot of experience in this business, feel free to learn how to coach. Life coach. You could be a real estate coach and a life coach, because a lot of people, they just need some help with structuring their life and managing their life, and there's nothing wrong with it. And those that think about this usually have a better life, because they're always thinking about their life. They're just not going through life, they're thinking about their life. They're thinking about their passive income, they're thinking about their retirement, they're thinking about their health, they're thinking about the protection of their family. And those that seek for help, because a lot of people don't seek for help, but there are hundreds and thousands of people who have mentors. Even though they're a mentor to maybe hundreds, they have a mentor themselves. I mean, Brent Gove, my mentor, he spent $700,000 on just classes and learning from others last year alone, 2025. $700,000. And so, but that's him. He's an excellent student. The one thing I love about my mentor, Brent Gove, is when you see him at another event, he's a student. He's right in the front row. He's taking notes. His notes is, he writes everything down, whether he's getting coached by Tony Robbins or Pace Morby, he's always in the front row. So be a student. So today, define your retirement income goals. Right? Set automatic investment allocations, meet with a CPA and financial advisor, track net worth annually, review and adjust every year, right? I mean, things change in our life. Small consistency decisions, massive long-term results. So, in closing, work by choice, not by necessity. And to work by choice is, putting in the hard effort in the beginning. I worked 24/7 as a real estate agent 20 years ago, and I worked day and night, 7 days a week. And I was a single dad, bringing my daughter here, there, to that meeting, to that meeting. I didn't hire babysitters. I didn't trust them, and that was just me. Build assets that pay you back. So that's what I did. I got bad advice from my broker. I had a 35 unit building, and what a bad advice. The only reason why the broker told me to do that is because he wanted me to be a sales all my life, because if I sold, he makes a commission. If I became successful and I'm living off passive income, I'm not selling as much, supposedly, and he doesn't get paid. So he was selfish by telling me to sell my property. And the reason why I know this is because I had some questions about the property. He didn't even take time to look at my portfolio and my investment, and without even looking at the numbers or looking at the property or anything, he just said, you should sell it. It's distracting you. What I didn't know. I just looked at him as a person of he was my broker, And I just respected him. And when I look back, horrible advice. So not everybody that you meet is genuine about your success. Choose who you coach with, who you talk with, who you associate with, because not everybody is there to help you. Okay, so anyways, turn commissions into ownership. Design a business that funds your future. Real estate is not just a career; it's a vehicle for generational wealth, and it's so important that you focus on your real estate business on what it could give you, because real estate is a magical business. It's a beautiful business, and it also could be very stressful. So, anyways, I want to appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there. We went over time a little bit for five. We went over 5 minutes, but I appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.